We're here today outside the Lion Park in the northern suburbs of Johannesburg. We came here today to cover the story on the Global March for Lions. On arrival, we came here to find that the management of the Lion Park had organised a simultaneous protest. What's the story?
Right up front, let me nail my colours to the mast. I'm against hunting with the exception of hunting for food. I have moral and ethical objections to hunting as a sport. I cannot entertain the idea that hunting helps conserve animals in any way it is presented to me. Protesters to the one side of the road with their placards of protest against can-lion hunting, and protesters on the other side of the road holding up placards regarding claims made about them which they reject, and more specifically related to can-lion hunting which they indicate they do not support. Their placards claim a respect for both human and animal life. They also have placards which indicate that they feel they are being wrongly accused and targeted by the group. So this gives one a dilemma. On the surface and by observation, it seems that both sides are shouting from the same page in the book. So how does one produce a story from this protest interaction? I think we can safely say that there are usually three sides to every story. Version A, version B, and the truth, which is somewhere in both versions. We requested an interview from the owner of the Lion Park, and he was very polite and empathetic about his rejection of canned lion hunting as a practice. He also said he would gladly give us an interview at another time, but he was concerned about the situation developing outside his property. He did, however, give us a prepared statement in writing explaining his side of the story. For the Global March for Lions group, Miss Linda Parks did give us an interview.
Okay, Linda, tell me why today? Why here at the Lion Park?
It's part of the Global March, which has happened worldwide. We did the first one last year, second one is now this year. And we decided to capitalize on the 60 Minutes expose, which came out at the end of last year, which exposed the Lion Park for what they're doing. So we're capitalizing on that and protesting outside. It just made sense to us. They have been selling into the can hunting industry. They will tell you that they sell to good homes. They will tell you that they don't do can hunting. They don't do can hunting. There is no can hunting that happens on here. The fact remains that they are breeding continuously, and the cubs, there are no good homes for cubs. There are no sanctuaries for these animals. They can't go into the wild because there's no space in the wild anymore. They all end up being hunted. That is the reality of the situation.
So tell me, what would be the typical story of a lion that comes here, a lion cub?
A lion cub is born here, taken away from its mother before it's a week old, normally about 3 days. It's hand-reared, so it's bottle-fed, so it gets habituated to humans. Once it's a couple of weeks old, it then goes into the cub petting pens. They always have cubs for petting. There are 365 days a year there are cubs there for petting. Cubs remain in there for a couple of months, then they get too big. And I mean, cubs, even if you look at a very small cub, their paws are huge. They can inflict a lot of damage without, it's just in play, you know. They will then get moved from there to walking with lions, and these guys all rent out to one another. So you haven't got cubs, I've got excess, you have mine, I'll take them back when they're old enough. So the industry is all quite interwoven. Once they've done the walking, the ones that go on to walking, you'll find that the female cubs are removed. So either they'll be used for breeding, or a lot of the female cubs actually get hit over the head with a hammer or euthanized, because they say it costs too much to grow them on and the hunters don't want the females. So you'll find most of these places where you'll find photographs on our website of hundreds of lions in a camp, and you'll see that they're all young males. They're all getting their manes.
Yes.
Those are the ones that will fetch top dollar at the end of the day for hunting. What's also happening is the lion bone trade, which has become very, very big. And what we've found lately is that a lot of these guys are not even bothering with the hunting. because there's a glut of lions now. So they're just slaughtering them for the lion bone trade. There was a shipment that went through ORT at the end of last year. It was actually 92 lions in that shipment.
And where did they end up?
In Vietnam.
In Vietnam? Okay.
So to be fair, we have two opposing sides who both claim to be against can lion hunting. We have two sides who indicate that they can prove their case by producing relevant paperwork. We have the aggrieved party asking the opposition to provide proof of their allegations while offering their books to open viewing as their proof. The biblical King Solomon would have his patience tested to adjudicate over this one. I have no reason to doubt the heartfelt passion of Miss Parks and her followers who have protested against this practice for a number of years, and I have encountered and interviewed on a number of occasions. I also have no reason to refute the information presented by the Lion Park without further investigation. To this end, I have no intention of putting out a story with inaccuracies and coloured truth. In some way, by making this protest site-specific, it has made objective reporting difficult and has made it somewhat personal in its targeting. And additionally, it has in some ways muddied the water. When the protests were held at Zoo Lake and in Sandton, there were clearly defined issues and no alternate stories. All of the participants were marching to the same tune for the same purpose. I'm a total supporter of the idea of banning the can lion hunting practice, as I find the concept appalling. However, I am presented with two groups who are at loggerheads, seemingly over the same issue, yet they are seemingly on the same side of the fence. I feel like I was walking along the riverbank to go and join some friends, but had to jump to a small island in the center of the river, with groups on either side, and now I am surrounded by crocodiles. Do I jump, or do I stay on the island? Ultimately, the only conclusion we can come to is that can lion hunting as a practice is not acceptable in our society.